Ellis Island is a national park, but nearly 100 years ago, Ellis Island was the beginning for the number of immigrants who came here both from Europe and Asia to begin a new life. And among those immigrants were my grandparents, both sets coming from Italy. And when they came here in this huge reception hall, they had a lot of hopes and dreams and very little money and personal possessions. But what they did have was determination and the hopes for a better future. And today I'm here at Ellis Island to retrace those steps, the first steps that my grandparents took to a new life. What did my grandparents have to offer America? In Italy, they were farmers. They tilled the land and picked the olives. And when it was decided that they would leave Italy, they must have had tremendous mixed emotions. Just imagine what they must have been thinking about as they sat in this room on these benches, clutching their passports with thousands of other immigrants. What would they find in a strange country with strange customs, a language they could neither speak nor understand, and no assurance whatsoever that they would ever become Italian Americans? Well, first up in this process was when the clerk called out your name. And in the case of my grandfather, it was Rosario Saporito. But the clerk could neither pronounce nor spell the name. So Rosario became Roy. And the first step in the process of becoming an Italian American began for my grandfather. Once my grandparents passed their physical and mental tests, they must have felt relieved. If they failed those tests, they would be deported back to Italy. With $25 in their pockets and courage and determination in their hearts, they were well on their way to building a new future. Not only my grandparents, but many of my relatives and friends of my grandparents as well, all adopted America as their new country. People like Rita Ritchie, Mrs. Tagani, Gracie LaPuma, and Mr. and Mrs. Belurgi all had that enthusiasm. But at the same time, they clung to and preserved their Italian customs and traditions, including cooking. Because of them, you and I can go nella cucina to make 2 Italian breads that are steeped in tradition and have been handed down as recipes of the mind. After that visit, I just have to share with you 2 very old recipes that were brought to my hometown from my relatives and my grandparents. And the first one I want to make for you is something called pane di zucca. And it was really made by a friend of ours, Mrs. Belurgi.